Okay, so we're at the paint booth. We're getting ready to spray. I went ahead and dull coated the car, and to dull coat it, I used matte finish by Krylon. I'll zoom out here. You can see it. That's what I use. You can buy this at Walmart. It's not too expensive. You can buy it on Amazon, although it does cost more. But at that time, I couldn't find it anywhere else. And I like it because it's safe to use on practically any model, acrylic or enamel paint, decals as well. In fact, that's what I seal my decals with. I love the stuff. First coat is Tamiya Paints. This is their flat earth. And I'm going to show you how much. I mixed 50% paint, 50% water. There it is in my cup. There's not a lot in there, and we're not going to need a lot. So let's get focused back in on our model here. Tamiya has been my go-to since Model Master was being phased out. Got my airbrush pressure set at around 25 psi. So here we go. I have a Pasche dual action internal mix, and that's what I use. I love it. I've used Pasche since I was a kid. Okay, so this earth, we're going to go down along the bottom here. So if you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And I'm only pulling all the full air pressure, but pulling back on the trigger just till I get paint. I'm almost just going to kind of, only just enough to really get it to be noticeable. And that's all. Okay, that looks more in the camera than I actually put on. We'll do the other side now. I've stayed right along the bottom. Not using much paint at all. Okay. Now we're going to hit the ends. I'm a little more liberal with the ends, and I'm going to kind of pull back and let it fade up some. Okay. There. Okay. I don't want any more on the sides. I'm going to set the car over. Which, by the way, now that the clear has dried on the oil paints, it's all safe to touch. I usually put some my leftover weathering color on the bottom of the car just to kind of A, do something with the paint so I don't waste it, and B, just somebody takes a quick glance at the underside of the car, they think you weathered it. And they want to look that much more detailed, buddy, they can go ahead, and what they see is what they see. Okay. There's that. On to our next color. Also, we don't want to forget we want to do our trucks. So I'm going to move this box car out of the way. Set it back here. So when I do my trucks, I'm going to let's get in a little closer here. Okay. So I do my trucks. I keep them aimed. I'm going to spray like the bottom edge, almost at a 45-degree angle. Just enough to get a little color on there. That's enough. That's enough. I don't want much more on. The other side. There. Do the other one. So. Hear a noise really start up. That'll be the air compressor recharging. Okay, so that and that. Now we go on to our next color. Okay, back for the next part. This time we're going to use Model Master, and we're using Railroad Tie Brown, obviously flat. Same amount of paint, around a ½ milliliter of paint is what I'm using. And then I add a ½ milliliter of water to get that nice thin paint mixture I like. So what we're going to do first is we're going to set this on his side. And we're going to aim straight at the roof. We're going to try to avoid the roof wall for the most part. We'll get a little misted on, it's not a big deal. But what we're going to do is just kind of get some spray on the roof here. So here we go. I'm I'm back about 4 inches from the model. I've just got a little bit of paint coming out. I can just see a little difference being made there. Okay, just flipping over, spinning back around. Now we're going to go on this next part. Let's see if I can position a little better with the light. Oops, sorry. Start there, kind of like that. Same thing. We're just going to, 4 inches, we just want just to where the paint's coming out. Okay. So what that's done is help blend in what we did with the oil paints. It gives an overall dusty look. Now, I personally think maybe I put too much earth down here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stay back a little further, about 6 inches or so, aim at that same spot. I'm just going to kind of use that. There we go. Look how that darkened it down a little bit. Let's do the other side. I'm going to do that before I do the ends. So I kind of want to get some matching. There. We didn't really lose any of our detail. I'm going to look at this kind of, let's see. I can look at that. We didn't lose much of our detail work with our weathering. In fact, it blended in more. Now I'm going to go to the sides here, or the ends, and I'm going to stay back a bit. I'm just going to kind of evenly coat the whole end. Okay. Again, I realize this doesn't show up the best on the camera. When we're done here, and I'll show you, you'll see. Same thing with the B end. I'm going to stay back and just. Stay back a little further, and I'm just going to kind of mist on from a distance. An overall dusty, dirty look. Okay. Right here at the ladder. I just want to kind of a little extra grime. There. Okay. Looking good there. Next color. Okay, final step with the airbrush is a very small step, but I'm big about doing this step. We are going to shoot the couplers while they're on the car. During this whole time, I've been airbrushing with my very small number 1 tip. We're going to use my Model Master Earth Red. This is a good color for couplers, even the sides of wheels. Their Model Master Leather is another good color for that as well. I may still have some. So I'm going to actually bump out a little bit so you can see how I do this. Then I'll show the car up close to the camera. So here's our subject again, nearing completion. About ready to haul malt for Schlitz. Which sounds kind of good right now. If you like good old-fashioned beer. So anyway, so if you can see, I'm basically aimed perpendicular at the coupler. So I'm going to put my air on and pull the paint. Boom. Enough. I'm going to come around to the other side here. You can't see it from the camera. I'm going to shoot the other side. Got it. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on this end. And again, I'm right at the edge of the car, straight at the coupler. Just hold steady, shoot it. Hold steady. Just enough paint. Now, we're also going to take the car and I'm going to shoot at the top of the coupler here. Okay, so you can kind of see that. I'm going to focus now. Good. Do the same thing on the other side. Okay, and so now you can hear, you can see. You can't see very well because the light's on the wrong side here, but the couplers now have rust on them. Okay, so you can see where I shot the coupler. Looks like I may have got a little bit on the air hose, not too bad. I'm not going to worry too much about it. I think just by shooting a coupler with a type of brownish rustish color, then you get. So here's our finished car. Until the rusting on the couplers has an effect. I did wind up going back and touching up the brake hose with a little bit of grimy black, just to kind of make that detail pop out a little more. Everything has more of a faded together look to it. You look on the roof, the same thing. Kind of toned down a bit of the oil washes we put in there. Looking at this side, you can see everything just has a little bit of an overall dusty effect to it, but you can still see all our detail work we did, like around the door. Here's this end of the car. Back to this side again. Again, you can see all our work around the door, some of our stuff along the seams. Just all kind of has a nice blend. So, in our trucks, under frame, if you care to look. So, anyway, I hope you enjoyed doing this, and there will definitely be more things to weather here. Thank you. Tune in again next time. Thank you.